Welcome back, everyone. In the last video, I picked back up on a collaboration knife between one of my mentors and I, and it is a folder that he had started and he has since retired, Mr. Robert Capdepon. If you've heard of him, he is a great maker and used to make some of the finest knives I've ever seen, but he really helped me when I got started making knives over 35 years ago. And what I've done is taken the last knife he worked on and started finishing it out. So right now I've got the mammoth fit up on the handles and I've got to thin it down now. So we're going to start on that right now. Before I take them back off of here, since I've already got them mounted, what I want to do is put me some marks here at the top of these bolsters on each end of the mammoth. And I'm going to start thinning it down. Once I get close, then I'll take my time and try to match them up as best as possible. I'll probably get them down to where I can take a little off of the bolsters as well, because they do need a little work because they've got some gouge marks on them. And this is not bark, so I don't have to worry about, messing up any of the outside surface anyway, or otherwise I would take it down from the inside. So I'm gonna get these off of here and we'll start thinning them down. Now, I don't know about where you guys live, gals, but here in South Louisiana, it's hot, very hot. And I've got a broken air conditioner here in my shop, in the clean room here, and I can't run the fan while I am doing these videos. So I'm sweating bullets. So I got to take this end bolster off here because it's a pretty tight fit. And we did this in the last video, got it up to this point. Mr. Robert had already got the liners done. I went ahead and set the detent and got that out of the way and fit up these handles. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the bolsters off over here too. It's pretty tight, which is what I want, so I don't mind doing this part at all. These little bitty alt 80 screws are fun to play with. All right, so you can see the line I have there, I think. Got it on each end. And that's what we want to cut down to until we get them close. Same on this one. All right, enough of that. We'll take these over there, start cutting on them. This is going to be fun. So I'm going to do a little trick that awesome knife maker Mr. Jim Clow taught me. He makes some of the finest folders you ever want to see. You should check him out on Facebook, Instagram. I'll try to find his link and put it in the descriptions. But he is one excellent maker. But anyway, he just takes tape like this and makes some handles where he can hold the mammoth, because you got to get it so thin. And you'll hold it against the disc sander, keep it from coming off. And I've done it, works very good. It's scary, but it works. Get a new piece of paper on here. This stuff here is nothing compared to the old 3M feather adhesive. This is some nasty stuff. I'm just going to stick a piece of 120 on this disc sander, right straight to the steel, because I'm just going to flatten it down for now, and I'm going to radius everything over on one of the belt grinders here. So I'll get this on here. It's a brand new fresh piece. It ought to cut good. Yesterday I was converting a golf cart from lead acid batteries over to lithium, and I used some of this scrap sandpaper, clean battery terminals and connectors and all that fun stuff. All right, so I'm going to put a mask on just so the police don't come after me. Now, somebody asked me if this stuff was hazardous. I'm sure it is, like any bone or even wood, any kind of material. The dust is probably the most hazardous thing. Is there some kind of danger from disease or whatever? I guess it could be, because quite honestly, this stuff is not as old as they used to say it was. We know that. I've pretty much always known that, but they teach you in school what they are taught. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Just take your time. You don't want to get it too hot either. You can see I'm pretty close there. I want to save some room when I put it on the radius so I can cut the rest of that down. That's off of the grinder, and then I just hit it over on the buffer a little bit, hit the handles. I wanted to make sure everything was nice and even and smooth to the bolsters, and they are very thin. They're like 3/32 or less thick. Not a whole lot to play with there, but come out pretty good. I like them. Now there's a crack in this one, but it was in there in the thick piece, and it wasn't broke. It was sealed up from when it was stabilized, but still you can see that crack. But that gives it a little character. I love the colors. Really pretty. So now I'm gonna hold off. I still got to do a little work on the bolsters, just clean them up. But I did get the problem areas out of it that was there that I saw. Some surface pitting, rust, just sitting up and stuff like that. Some scratches, and I will hand sand any other blemishes out and polish everything up. But now what I'm gonna do is take these off. I'm going to start working on the liners, doing a little decorative file work, and maybe even the back spacer. I'm going to think about that for a minute, and then I'll jump on the blade. I've got some cleanup work to do on there, and I've got to try to clean it up without harming Mr. Roberts' logo. I've got to work on this thumb nick or nail nick that's in here, try to clean it up. But there's some surface pitting in here, and I got to try to clean that off. I'm gonna focus on this for now, but right now it's about 107 degrees in here, and I'm gonna pick back up on this tomorrow morning. I'll be right back though, on your time. I also went ahead and cleaned the spine all the way around up to the pretty much final finish. I may have to do some touch-ups, but I've got the liners inside out screwed together here. I'm gonna mark them out, lay them out. I'm just gonna take a blue marker here and do this. You can do this with a black marker and just make marks, but I like to do this and take a small pointed scribe. It don't really cut, and I lay my marks out with that because they're very small, and that way I can be more precise. If I use a marker, even little small Sharpies, they don't, they're so thick, the tip's so thick that you can easily get off. And I can't see what I'm doing. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our liners anodized. I'm going to make these a pretty dark blue, dark as I can anyway, and then I'm going to anodize the back spacer a kind of a deep gold, almost bronze. But I'm going to put it in a little acid here to get it, clean it a little bit. It don't take but a second. And I'll show you a close-up on the back spacer. Go in a little bath I got here and into the anodizing solution. And here we go. Doesn't take too long. And your colors are all done by voltage. So I'm about 22.5 volts to get the blue color that I want. I'm doing both at the same time so I have consistent color. All right, I think that is got it. Pull it out of here, go back into my bath a little bit. Now I will take this and I'm gonna hit it with some brake cleaner and then I will oil them. And here's the back spacer. We're gonna do a little acid wash. You'll see it fizz up. And it's cleaning. Get it out of there, you see it smoking. I'm gonna go into the bath and then to our anodizing solution. Now we're going to go about 14 volts on this one. 15 is probably the sweet spot, but I want to try it here first because you overdo it, then you got to remove it. We'll let her cook right there. I'm wanting a dark bronze, kind of deep gold, not gold, but more on the bronze side. So right now it's at 0. I'm going to take a look at this, see what we've got. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so now I'm going to focus on the blade. There's an issue with the thumb nick. It needs cleaning up. It looks like the tool that Mr. Robert used probably chattered, and I can see that he did try to clean it up a little bit, but you know, this was the last knife he worked on, and you know, his eyes was getting bad, and he just, I guess he gave up. And I'm gonna try to clean it up a little bit, try to get that chatter out of there, and I'm gonna be using this tool. Now, ideally, you want to clamp this in your mill, cut it with either a stone or carbide or whatever you use. The blade's finished out, and I really can't get it clamped like I want, you know, to put it in there. I could probably rig up something to do it, but ideally, you want a stone the size of the radius or whatever your cutting tool is, size of the radius of the nick. And this is not. So I'm gonna try to run it slow. I've cut the stone. I've made a cone out of it. And I'm gonna try to get in there and clean it up real slowly and, you know, try to make it a little more better to say now. Like I said, this is not how you would really want to do this, but I'm gonna see what I can do with it to clean it up. I'm gonna be running it slow. And hopefully not screw it up. All right, that's looking a lot better, but we'll be through here in just a minute and we'll take a look at it. All right, so let me show you where I'm at here. And I think I figured out what happened when he was milling the nail nick. I'm pretty sure that the blade came loose in the vise that was holding it, and it walked. The blade walked, or the cutter walked. It also got on the blade in a couple places, which I thought was rust, but it's not. It's actually cuts from the cutter that got in the blade. Now, I'm trying to do this. I did get a lot of the chatter cleaned up, and I'm going to work on it some more. It's not going to be a very good, clean nail nick. And I can understand why when that happened, he threw it in the drawer. And that was it. I think he got so frustrated. But I'm trying to stay off of his logo too. And while I'm sanding, I'm going to do some sanding. And I want to stay off of his logo. I could put it back on there, but I want to keep his original etch. So I'm gonna do a little more sanding. This blade will just have some character if I can't completely clean it up. But as you can see what I'm talking about here, it's you know, it's got that where it came loose, and then the cutter jumped all over the blade and messed up the nail nick. All right, that's about as good as I'm gonna be able to get it. I did get all the chatter out of it, but it's, you know, it's just not a traditional clean cut nail nick. But it'll work. I'm not 100% satisfied, but, you know, I just wanted to try to save it without messing up his logo. And looks like we avoided that. And I was able to sand everything away without cutting it down. But you still have the machine marks in there. There's 3 left. I was able to get 2 of them out, completely out. But I'm sure, you know, he had something like this in his mill, and the blade shifted or moved, and then the dovetail came out, or whatever kind of cutter he had, and chattered all over the place. So, and it messed up his nail nick there. But that's the way it goes. We're gonna save it though. It has character. And you know, I probably could mount it and try to recut the whole thing, but I really hate trying to do that now, because it looks like he cut it after it was hardened. Most people are, at least I do. I cut them while they're still soft, and you know, it'll be dark in there after you heat treat it, and that probably contributed to it being hard and causing it to chatter. So I'm gonna put it together and see how she looks. Now I had to make a tool to get down there and do that sanding. A piece of micarta with a 45 cut on it, where I could keep the flat side up against the top of the nail nick and keep it as straight as I could, and try to clean it up with sandpaper. It's been fun. But I want to show you something. This little package here, little light package. This was $50 delivered. The product in there was $23. Let me just show you. It is a 256 tap. So the tap was cheaper than the shipping. I ship knives all the time, all over the country, and they're way heavier than this. So let's get this thing together. But I needed a tap, and I needed that one, and it's the only one I could find that quality. It's a type of tap, an OSG tap. But anyway, put this together and take a look at it. Now I need to sharpen it. I'm gonna do some more work on the bolsters. I may even get those engraved, and who knows. All right, I think we got her done. I'll give you some shots here, close-ups. I think it come out pretty good. I really like it. I'm not crazy about the nail nick, but that's what it is. I hope Mr. Robert will be proud of it. And I know I'm very proud and honored to get to collaborate with one of my mentors. But I want to thank you for watching. We're going to see you on the next project.